Hey there, welcome to the Gyro Step, a Milwaukee Bucks podcast, proudly a part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network and GSPN. I am one of your hosts, Ty Windisch. I am joined as always by my elegant co-host, Rohan Katti, and we are joined by our pals at Prize Picks, number one daily fantasy sports destination. Use code Eurostep, get $50 when you play $5 more on Prize Picks later. Everyone's favorite part of the show. But for now, Rohan, how's it going?
Doing well. I think I've kind of accepted that the Bucks aren't in the playoffs anymore, and I'm just enjoying it. I'm just enjoying the playoffs.
I am enjoying the play. Sometimes I don't watch as much after the Bucks get knocked out, but these last couple of years, it's so early that I feel like I'm not as bitter about it.
Yeah, it's like I'm used to this.
When they lost to Boston in that game 7 and 22, I did not watch. That's one of the few years I watched like half a finals game. I just couldn't.
For me, it was the bubble.
Oh yeah. I watched some of the bubble games just because I was kind of like, is Miami actually gonna? And the answer was no. But now the question is Indiana actually gonna? And the question is maybe. But we're not gonna switch to national playoffs coverage outside of how it affects the Bucks or maybe a couple standout things. Maybe we'll do a what can we learn from the NBA champs? That's always a fun conversation to have whenever that gets decided. But Bucks news so far is there is no news. So we're gonna do our fake trades. Rohan accidentally did 29 of them. I have 8 of them. We'll see how many we get through. There was a miscommunication I'm going to take fault for on show planning here. Rohan, being the genius that he is, went above and beyond. No one is surprised. I did not. So we'll get to our fake trades. But first, the news. Doc Rivers, still the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. What's your concern level, Rohan? I'm starting to feel a sickness in the pit of my stomach.
I'm starting to get concerned. Like the days after, I'm just like, okay, whatever. They need to do this. They don't do exit interviews as a team, which is,
a choice.
It's a choice for sure. And
oh my
God,
God,
I should say public.
Breaking news: the Milwaukee Public Museum has been renamed the Nature and Culture Museum of Wisconsin. Absolute fumble.
What? The Nature and Culture Museum of Wisconsin?
That makes no sense.
I mean, I guess.
Come on.
I mean, it's not wrong as a name, but like
it feels confusing. I'm going to think it's a nature preserve.
Yeah, a nature preserve right across from Pfizer.
Technology is wonderful. I don't like that. Maybe I'm just old now and I don't like any change. I feel like you had a good brand.
Wrong.
You had a good brand.
There was nothing wrong with Milwaukee Public Museum.
Everyone knew about it. Anyway, sorry. That's not the breaking news I wanted on this podcast, but that's what we got.
I was like, you said breaking news. I'm like, oh my God. Look at my phone real quick.
I had to say it that way just for you. Just to give you that second of like, oh my God.
But I am starting to get concerned. It's no news is news at this point for the Bucks, like we're talking about, because you expect there to be something, right? This is such a critical juncture for the Bucks, and just having acting quickly and swiftly is very important when you want to make good big decisions, which you probably should be doing after losing in the first round for the third year in a row.
Yeah.
So
it's not going to be the executive.
It's not going to be. That'd be so funny if it was. There's no shot.
Dude, Doc charisma is just level 100.
But there's just being no news. And after having seen teams act even before the playoffs started, in the Nuggets case, what was it? Less than 10 games or 10 days before the playoffs started?
Now they're up 1-0 over the Thunder.
They go and do that. And now they're up 1-0 over the 1 seed in the West.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like you're seeing these teams being proactive and doing all these things, and you're even seeing coaching vacancies get filled by the interim. If there was any time to go do a full coaching search, it's right now.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a point in okay, maybe we can actually afford to be patient because the Suns are doing a hire. They just started their hiring coach process.
Whoever was at Michigan State.
Yeah, well, they did their executive who coached Matt Ishbia, which is very, very funny. But they're just starting so that's one team that's doing a coaching search. I'm really intrigued to see where they go. I tuned into some of Bobby Marks's YouTube videos on the NBA ESPN channel. Incredible content. Somehow he's between TV hits and once a month when they call him on a podcast to explain what the second apron is. He's just become a vlogger.
Is this where he's, just declining calls from his wife?
Yep, I think these very same videos where he's just like in a room. Like I love when ESPN is just like, we have all the production capabilities of God. You're not getting them. You get a laptop. Like he's just like us. He just sits here. He's like got it tilted. He's sitting there. He's like, let me pull this up. If the Phoenix Suns were a restaurant, I would say it's good items, but the menu is overpriced. I'm like, I'm all in. This is true content. At one point, he goes, enough of the retreads. I'm going to tie myself here. He goes, Bobby Marks of ESPN. We got to get Bobby on the pod. Enough of the retread head coaches in Phoenix. Shit, I'd call Chris Paul. I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? He's like, you say, hey, he's got no experience. Hey, shit, JJ Redick had no experience. I'm like, whoa, Bobby's just going off here. So anyway,
like no one's patrolling this at all.
No, he might upload it himself, dude. And one of them, he's like, guess what? Great news. The paywall's been taken down. He just treats it like this huge W. I'm like, I feel like this is some complicated business decision. He's like, you can read my article for free. I'm stoked. It's awesome. Anyway, shout out to Bobby Marks. Sorry for the early swears on the podcast. People probably think we're going to get heated about the trades or something. It's just me being geeked about Bobby Marks and his YouTube content. Anyway, so they're looking for a head coach. All this to say, the Phoenix Suns. Is anyone else right now?
I don't think so. I think it's just Phoenix.
The Kings hired the interim.
So did the Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies hired the interim. And then I guess maybe the Nuggets will. We don't know
the
yet.
Nuggets as well.
The Nuggets might, but they're obviously not going to start that until, whenever this run ends. So while there's a lot of good candidates, there's almost no one actively looking right now in the open market. So maybe that buys you some time. The other thing I wonder if I think probably is playing a role here. We know Giannis had another baby really soon after the playoff run ended. So
congratulations to Giannis and Mariah.
Maybe give her a break, my guy. Maybe 1 year here. I mean, I'm not one to tell anyone about anything. It's obviously his business, but good God.
Was that 4, 5? That's 4.
I think that's 4. Second girl, right? 2 boys and 2 girls. Okay. Anyway.
It's like 4 in like 5 years.
It's been fast. Poor
Mariah.
I mean, listen, I'm sure she has world-class care. She needs it. That's a lot. That's a big, I don't know.
And has agency in this.
Well, 100%. Anyway, just getting into a weird turn. But they just had the baby. So I'm sure, you want to do your meeting with Giannis and everything. Of course, that's a huge move to figure out the direction of the team and then color a lot of the rest of these moves. Maybe they're like, you know what? We're not gonna pay the other coach if Giannis is gone anyway, because who cares? Like, we're gonna make Doc coach the 16 win Bucks or whatever it's gonna be. Hopefully more like 35 to 40 win Bucks. I don't know. That's just reckless speculation, but we'll see. And then the other piece of news is Giannis's Instagram post, which this is how down bad we are. Also a very funny post because half the comments were he's gone and half the comments were he's never leaving. So it's Giannis and the win for Cream City shirt, which the playoff slogans are getting worse and worse by the day. And what's the caption? Prayer hands and a salute.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything, folks.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It means nothing. Like, what are we doing? Has Giannis ever done stuff like this in cryptic Instagram posts? No, it's like we're reading too much into things.
I'll tell you what I take it as. He's like acknowledging the playoff run, right?
He's just acknowledging the season.
Yeah, okay, we had the season. Prayers up, salute. I don't think it means salute because he's out. Like, I think if he was out, we'd find out. We might find out with the trade. The way he does the extensions, like Giannis is not a let me leak and get my, get the media pressure and everything. If he's out, I think we're going to find out like when there's a trade already agreed upon, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's extension eligible this year. If he's in, it's just going to be like Chris Haynes, next on Haynes' brief.
He signed the extension beginning of last year.
Yeah, I don't think a Dame would have been sad. But it's going to be Chris Haynes, like Haynes' brief in between a story of him fighting a jaywalker. It's like, Giannis is staying, by the way.
I saw someone on the street and he looked at my house. I got to fight him now.
Hey
What
man,
is Chris doing?
I watched the videos. The squatter video was incredible.
It's very funny. But it's also like, Chris Haynes, what are you doing?
We're in this new era of the NBA content creators, like the elder millennials or whatever Bobby Marks is, are just like seeing the other kinds of content creators on the internet, and they're like, you know what, this is fire.
Why not?
I'm waiting for the Bobby Marks free agency mukbang, where it's just like, I'm gonna eat every item at this Wendy's and talk about the contracts across the league. You're telling me you wouldn't watch? I'd be glued to that. I would be glued to that content.
That's the only thing I would watch for like a week straight.
Just like, wow, this waffle fry is delicious in this sauce. Now, let's talk about Jaren Jackson's contract extension and renegotiation.
Say Jay Crowder.
Yeah.
Possibilities. Oh my.
Oh, anyway.
Bobby Marks and mukbang would go so
Bobby
hard.
Mark, dude, I need to get in touch with. I have so many ideas for Bobby.
We should do a mukbang with Bobby.
Dude, I would love to do a mukbang. Next time, Bobby Marks, next time you're in Wisconsin, hit us up. We'll go to Culver's. We'll get everything on the Culver's menu. We'll destroy it. Or maybe Culver's isn't a great shout, maybe. We'll find a good place. We'll destroy all the food, and then we'll talk about, I don't know what we'll even talk about.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We're used to talking. He's a content creator now. He knows how to
Dude,
talk.
he is. He's gonna be on. He's gonna do a little TikTok dance. He's with it.
He's more advanced than I am.
Me too. He's outside doing videos. He's like, I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. I'm like, this guy's a YouTuber now. Anyway,
Just
okay.
vlogging.
That's a lot of Bobby Marks content. Should we get to the trades, or do you have any other thoughts on the inaction?
No, there's. I'd be shocked if we didn't hear something in the next, like, before the playoffs are done. That's a long time. That's like a month. But
yeah,
I guess it's not that long in the grand scheme of things.
Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting because I think.
How about before the conference finals?
Do you mean on Doc?
Yeah.
Specifically? Yeah, like
or just anything.
Is there going to be word if he's just back? Is that a news story? I don't know. Probably, right?
Yeah, I guess. Maybe he gets an extension.
No, I'd be pretty surprised about that. We'll see.
Because he signed a 3-year deal, I think? Or was it a 5-year deal? I can't remember.
No, it was 4. It was 4, but 1 was the partial. So he's got 2 left.
Yeah, not extension eligible then.
I mean, they could, but they shouldn't.
Yeah. Imagine 2 years left. They're like, Doc, we're going to tack on another 5 years.
We want you coaching until you're 80.
Crazy. Yeah, I'd say maybe it's not news if he's just back. How about this? If they don't fire him within the month, he's staying.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
If it's June and the other scenario people throw out there is it they're going to move him to the front office, which if it's a fake role, then fine. If they made him president of basketball ops, we're all cooked. I think we're all cooked if he stays coach too, but I could probably cope with that better.
I think, yeah, if he's Pobo, it's over.
Yeah.
But it is not a Popovich situation at all.
El Jefe.
So sad. It's so awesome.
Dude, the fact that he had Manu and Tim with him and they just flank him like secret police.
It's literally the Ninja Turtle Splinter meme. They did that in real life.
That franchise, like the basketball ops side, I don't want to, ownership, whatever. But the way they venerate legends, players. No team does it better.
No.
Like they find reasons for those guys to be at stuff, right? They're just like, Tim, how about you just come be a coach, whatever you want to call it. Just come hang out. And then it was such a cool scene, dude. Those guys look like knights.
Yeah. Because they are to them.
100%. Helping with Pop's rehab.
They're royalty.
Yeah. Dude, the coolest thing about Pop, Mitch Johnson's the coach. Pop kind of handed it off. Pulled off cool El Jefe shirt. Clearly still in recovery from the stroke, but was able to speak and everything, which was a nice moment. Although a little, it was bittersweet, I guess, in some ways, seeing it clearly did affect him. I think he definitely made the right decision.
And the fact that he can't coach anymore.
He made the right decision. Like, it's such a demanding job. But he's going to be around clearly, and his impact's going to be felt. But DeJounte Murray being there, I was like, damn. DeJounte Murray did nothing of consequence with the Spurs. I mean, league-wide.
He was an all-star.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's important for a team that was like struggling to find a direction. Him being an all-star was kind of cool.
If a Spurs fan made a list of cool moments in the last decade, is DeJounte Murray's All-Star?
No, okay, let it be cool.
I'm just saying, but I think it's even cooler that he was there because it wasn't like this was a guy this wasn't Kawhi, right? Like, I won a title there, or I did this, I did that. Obviously, it was the start of his career. He grew into the great player that he is. He made an All-Star team there. It was a big deal. But the fact that, 2 teams later, kind of just got jettisoned out of there, and it wasn't like a ceremonious trade. They were just like, we're going to be even worse now. See you, DeJounte. And that guy still comes back for it. I thought that was really, really cool. I mean, like the Legends being there was cool in itself, but just a different kind of cool. So no disrespect to DeJounte Murray's Spurs career.
It was really cool. It was really cool to see, and he deserves that and more.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So here's how we're doing this. Yeah. So we're going to take turns pretending to be Jon Horst, and then the other one of us will be the other GM. So you're going to say who I am so I know, pitch the trade, I'll respond to it as the GM, and then after the deal-making part is done, we can kind of chat through, give our analysis. Does that sound good?
That sounds good to me.
Let's do it.
Okay. You can go first.
No, you go first. You have more. You can go first. Pick your favorite one of your 30 trades.
Oh, this is not my favorite, but I'm going to start with it.
Well, whatever.
So, shoot, what's his name?
While you look that up, let's talk about our friends at Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with millions of active members. I think actually 100 million active members, where you can use code Eurostep to get $50 when you play $5 your first time, win or lose. So make sure to download the app today. We got basketball playoffs coming on. We got the other women's basketball season starting soon, which I'm extremely excited about. And we got baseball rolling on ahead at Prize Picks. And it just makes it more fun, especially now that our team, tier, that's me crying. I don't know why I said tier, is eliminated from the basketball playoffs. Maybe you want to get a little more invested in the rest of the games. You're seeing, whoa, is Nikola Jokic going to have 80 PRA or whatever? There's probably a demon time for that after his Game 1 performance against OKC. Let me throw that on top of watching a dramatic Western Conference semifinals game. Western Conference semifinals game. Whatever it may be. Or if you hate watching Indiana, but rooting against them, maybe you want to go under, less than on Tyrese Halliburton's stats, which wouldn't have went well for you in Game 1 against Cleveland, but maybe Game 2 is the moment. Prize Picks just adds that extra spice onto the basketball playoffs, especially if your rooting interest team is no longer involved. So make sure, download the Prize Picks app today. Use code Eurostep, and I believe it'll automatically be populated if you use the link in our description. But if not, make sure code Eurostep is in there when you sign up. Make sure you get our special offer, $50 when you play $5, win or lose. You go win a bunch on Prize Picks. They have fast, easy, and safe withdrawals. You can get your money back out. But you know what? You can also just keep it in there, let it ride, because playing Prize Picks is awesome. Again, code Eurostep, $50 when you play $5 for the first time, win or lose on Prize Picks. Run your game. It's fully the offseason now. Okay, did you look up the name? That was actually worked out perfect. So I was like, that would have been a great time to talk about our friends at Prize Picks right before we get into the trade. So good job, Rohan.
Oh yeah, 100%. That was planned.
Yep.
So I'm Jon Horst. He's making a phone call to Karnisovas, Arturas Karnisovas.
Okay, I have him on my list too. Okay, I'm not going to do any accents. Hello, Jon Horst.
Yes. Hi. You guys are tanking now.
Nope.
You've made a decision.
Nope.
What?
We're going for 35 wins.
Oh, okay.
We're going for 10th in the East.
How about like 25 wins? How about that?
Maybe. We'll see.
One guy that you could really, if you're not trying to win as many games and you're trying to save some future money, why not give the Bucks Lonzo Ball?
Okay,
that's where I'm going here.
Listening. All right, what do I get?
So you can get some future salary reduction if you just take Pat Connaughton, but you can also have like a second round pick if you want that as well. That's it.
So I've got a lot of young guards. I've got Kobe White. Yep. I've got Ayo Dosunmu. Do you want Javon Carter back? That contract was a bit of a whoopsie. Okay, well.
That's expiring, so it's not not
a
too
big
bad
deal.
for you.
Not a big
year.
deal. Yeah, true. The Lonzo is partially guaranteed, so this doesn't save me that much money. But I think if the future pick capital is good, I think this is realistic. I do, because Pat's now also, assuming he opts into the player option, he will also be expiring now. So this is pretty good. I will tell you before we move on.
We could double swap a pick if you want. We could double mortgage a pick if you want.
I don't think it's going to cost that much.
You don't think so?
No, I mean, Lonzo was good, not great last year, and I think there's still teams are going to be wary, right, of his injury status. I think Pat and a good unprotected, what would be 2031 or 32 pick or whatever it is.
It'd be a 31 second, yeah.
They could do 32 on draft day as well, I believe. But yeah, I think that's good. I had Pat and Ajax for either Lonzo or Jalen Smith, especially if Bobby opted out and left. A little stretch big.
Yeah, I guess. I see it. Sorry, that name just caught me. I was not expecting you to say Jalen Smith.
I kind of hate Jalen Smith, but I
don't think he's very good, but he's a big who can do big things.
Yeah. And for me, I kind of looked at two scenarios. If it's am I trading Kuzma, then I'll keep Ajax. But if I don't see a Kuzma deal or if it doesn't materialize, then maybe I just trade Ajax. I don't know how much room there's going to be for him. I think I'd prefer Lonzo in that arrangement. Although one of my hangups with this exercise,
you need a point guard, man. You need a point guard.
Yeah. I think he's a good point guard. He's a good, and I want to do point Giannis. That's the goal of next season for me. Lonzo is a good point guard who's also an off-ball player.
Exactly. Here's the thing: he can be your two, essentially your two with point Giannis, and be point guard if he needs to take over, or in minutes where Giannis is sitting. Or it's just off the catch, do something with it. Yeah. That's something the Bucks have kind of lacked over the last couple of years, is just someone who's going to be able to do something once they have the ball in their hands.
They have not lacked injury
14
risks.
seconds. Yeah.
So that's the one thing here. But, as we all know, the asset situation is pretty dire. So I think you have to take a swing. Also,
you got to take some risks.
Would you do Pat, Ajax, and a second for Lonzo?
No.
Would you do my trade or no?
What was that?
Pat and Ajax for Lonzo.
Yeah, probably.
If Kuzma's still going to be there. Yeah,
I think I would.
Or I guess if not, I mean, it would hurt. It's kind of like the idea of the AJ Johnson trade. The Bulls. The Bulls are such a hard one.
It's not as bad as AJ Johnson, I'll say.
No, I don't think so. But they're they want young players. I don't know. I guess if they bring back Giddey, that's a pretty bad fit with Giddey. But maybe they'll just look at his 3-point percentage and be yeah, sure, whatever. It seems like that's what they did with Javon Carter.
Yeah, Pat's probably hey, I'm close enough to my properties in Chicago.
Dude,
I know better than anyone. It's really easy. It's really easy to get to Chicago from Milwaukee. I do it all the time.
Pat might build a monorail.
That'd be great, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Are you ready for? I want to go crazy here.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely nuts. This is not my favorite, but I wanted to do some crazy ones because you know what? Every time I do an exercise like this, half of mine are here's a vet min guy for a better fitting vet min guy, and everyone gets pissed. And I will say, the KPJ trade and the Sims trade were both that, and they worked out awesome for the Bucks. Sometimes vet min for vet min works, but I didn't do any vet min for vet min. You want to get crazy? Let's get crazy, listeners. You're Scott Perry of the Sacramento Kings. Congrats on getting the job, Scott Perry. No one thinks you deserved it, but congratulations.
I don't think I deserved it either.
No one thinks I deserved it.
They just gave it to me. Vivek was hey, you want this job? I was I didn't even apply.
Yeah. Well, I got an extension the same way. So I'm glad we're doing business today, Scott. Your team's not working. You know this. You got the job because it's not working. You got too much offense. You need some two-way players. You need some athleticism. You know what? You want scoring, but you need some athleticism. So I'm going to take old man DeMar DeRozan off your hands. I'm going to give you Kyle Kuzma and Andre Jackson Jr. You need just some off-ball, some cutters to make sense around Sabonis and Levine and everything else you got going on there. And you probably want to get younger. You guys missed the playoffs. How about you come get younger with Kuzma on a declining deal and Andre Jackson Jr., hell of a young flyer. Put him on the wing there with Keegan Murray. That's a fun team, Scott. What do you say?
Neither of them are going to the rim.
They might. You never know. Growth. Kuzma's going to go. The shot might not go in.
Kuzma's going to go there. I'll tell you that much.
You know what? Sabonis, perfect position to tip those back in. You guys are set up to maximize Kuzma missing at the rim.
That's true. Just make sure you're ready to play 5-on-4 the other end because he's going to be on the ground.
Yeah, well, you need Sabonis to put those in.
Every possession, he's just on the ground.
Well, don't do this mid-trade call, Rohan. We're trying to get Scott to take him off our hands here.
That's true. See, DeMar is good. We like DeMar. DeMar was our closer.
I know he made the TikTok with Vivek, but
he's got 2 years left.
At age 35, that's an anchor.
It's not that long.
Okay. Well, what can I throw something in here? How about 47 overall in the 2025 NBA draft?
I think that would probably do it.
Okay. I don't think I'm doing the first. I don't think I'm doing the first here. I'm into this idea.
No, it depends on if me, Scott Perry, is deciding I'm just going to tear this down.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
That's
Which
the big decision there.
I doubt Vivek is into that. I think you want to rework the core.
The core's broken.
Well, it's because
we traded for Zach LaVine mid-season.
I know, which was a terrible idea.
Because Fox requested a trade, and we're like, oh, we got to get something out of this.
Well, I think you go get LaVine and not a lot of picks because you're like, well, and they got a couple things, but they're like, oh, we want to keep trying to win. We love offense.
And then the GM who did that lost his job.
Well, yeah, I get it. You think they're gonna rebuild? I don't think they're gonna rebuild. I think they're gonna retool.
I think you have to, one. And two, it's like the new guy's gonna want to do it, but it's different with the Kings, though.
It's different with the Kings.
We thought they weren't going to be the Kangs anymore, but they all.
I wasn't convinced. As soon as they fired Mike Brown, they're coming back.
Yeah, they had one good season, and then they lost to the Warriors.
Yep. I don't know how far off I don't know how far off the value is on this, to be honest.
I don't think that I don't think the value is that far off at all. It's from the Bucks. You're like, hey, can we replace Khris in the air? Literally,
DeMar DeRozan is like, what if Khris was a little worse, definitely worse defensively, and a worse 3-point shooter, but just didn't have the debilitating injuries. I think this is how Khris probably would have aged. DeMar's still doing it. It is kind of sad, but it is also that totally worked with Giannis. I think you lose a little bit of the, post have him the shooter off ball Giannis, but A, just put Green or Trent there. And B, maybe DeMar works part of his game.
Ball. Is Kuzma a shooter off ball?
No, I'm saying the old Khris. Khris is at the 3-point line and Giannis is that old setup they would do. Do it with an actual shooter. But DeMar, just DeMar Giannis pick and roll would be sexy. You give DeMar that little bit of space at 18 feet. He's drilling that thing.
With the screen from Giannis, you're getting that every single time.
That exactly.
Every single time.
I think
defenders will always concede to DeMar over Giannis.
And while he's not a great defender, at least he's big. I've seen people say CJ McCollum. No, never.
No, he's not on my list.
No. So this one actually, I'm I don't know what the Kings are going to do. I don't think I
love this.
I don't think I'd put the first in for it because DeMar is old and a little flawed. But I just feel like it gives you such a baseline offensively that you're not going to have without some sort of move.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if I love this.
Yeah.
It really depends on what happens with your center. If you're starting Jericho Sims, I don't think it works.
No, you need Bob to opt in and keep Bob around, I think, here.
Yeah, Bob's your starting 5.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of I don't think I have a center trade actually. I should have probably. But
I don't hate it. I think it's a safe option. I think it's a really safe option. It kind of reminds me of trading for Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, but I think DeMar's good. So that's why I think it can work.
Yeah, that's the thing.
that's the big difference. We're not playing can PJ Washington be good on a good team? We're playing all right, we know exactly what DeMar brings. We're just going to slide him in. We'll have him for a year. Hopefully you get Dame healthy, and then you just send him somewhere else. This is DeMar's career at this point. Who needs 22 mid-range points per game? I'm there.
The Bucks do, actually.
They really do. And longtime listeners will know I have been an avid DeRozan fan for such a long time, even knowing the flaws in his game, that I've always wanted him to be a Buck, and I actually think it makes a good deal of sense this year.
Yeah, we were thinking about doing that pre-Dame trade.
Yeah. So in this world, I'm rolling out like Trent, Green, DeRozan, Giannis, Portis. And we're just going to be super spaced. We have some defensive shortcomings for sure. And you trade both of your athletic wings. So maybe at 47, you take another Ajax kind of variant or trade up or whatever. But we have our offense should be cooking. Doc at the wheel, maybe it won't be. But the spread, DeRozan, Giannis pick and roll should be very good.
Oh, also, one thing we forgot to mention in news, the Suns, in their search, are looking at Dave Yeager, potentially.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's something I just remembered right now.
Yeah,
I was like, or like one of the assistants on the bench. And I was like, oh, yeah, Dave Yeager news.
Yeah. Yeah, and so they're looking for, I guess, like one step removed retreads now. Was kind of their list.
They're like, we can't just take him right back.
Not from 1 year. You need a couple years off to learn.
It'd be really funny if they hired Adrian Griffin.
Oh my God, I wish. That would be incredible. I wonder, he's probably due to pop up on an assistant coaching staff sometime like this year.
I'd say this year. Yeah.
We'll see.
Maybe the Bucks.
I'm gonna guess no.
But yeah, this Kings trade, I'm iffy on.
Okay.
I think it's good value, but if you can do it for that, I don't know if the Kings are going to agree to that. But...
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, the Kuzma trade value, I think we could just quickly talk about. Like, I don't think it's super negative. Value. Yeah, I think it's like very light value. It's like upside value.
It's like it clearly is not a good fit in Milwaukee. Like we know that. But it still could be a good fit somewhere else.
I mean, teams are going to look back at what he's done in his career, not just the Lakers championship, but like the scoring. And he's just like there's always going to be some sort of market for an athletic 6'9" guy who at least thinks he can shoot and like has done the things he's done in the league at that age on a declining contract. Yeah, like I don't think it's great.
Can be a good defender.
I mean, you're not in a great position here, but I don't think it's like teams are going to look at this as like, oh my, it's like the Bradley Beal contract or anything like that. It's like $20 million a year.
No, it's not that big either. It's 22.
Yeah, and it goes down. It's I think there's something.
It's a good
there.
Contract.
Yeah, I mean, it would be I think it'd be a good contract if he looked good, but in a vacuum, yeah, it's like for a player who's been an NBA starter, it's a good contract.
Yeah. Can we move on to
another go for it. What do you got?
Speaking of good contracts. And how Kyle Kuzma's a good contract. Ring, ring. Brad Stevens, answer the phone, please.
Oh, boy. Hello.
So you flamed out against the Knicks in the playoffs. Tough, man.
Oh, no. I said I wouldn't do that. I'm going to make Brad Stevens a nerd. Oh, no.
And you got new owners.
Oh.
They're going to want to cut some costs.
They do.
You got the new owner syndrome. First of all, do you want to come be the coach of the Bucks?
Sure.
Cool. We've solved a lot of issues here. And on your way out, we're not having this phone call, by the way.
Yeah,
this is
100%
illegal. On your way out, do you want to save some money for the Celtics?
Uh-huh.
Do you want to, like, this is part of your job. You're going to have to cut costs. Like, that's a real thing that's going to happen.
Yep. Oh, my God.
Do you want Kyle Kuzma and Pat Connaughton for Jrue Holiday?
Oh, my God.
Probably a pick.
Yeah.
Definitely a pick.
I think if you sent the first, they might actually do this.
I think they would too.
I think they'd probably say, let's reroute Connaughton somewhere. Like we don't even want to. We don't want to pay $9 million.
Are you kidding? No, they're gonna keep Boston Pat.
I think maybe they're gonna. I think here's their ideal scenario. He gets routed to Charlotte.
They might use that in a trade.
He gets routed to Charlotte. He gets bought out, and then he's main Red Claws. Pat, I think, is their dream scenario. Or main Celtics. They're not even the Red Claws anymore.
Yeah, they're the main Celtics now.
So stupid. I think maybe here. I think Jrue probably is the guy. I assume.
He's the one to go.
Or is it Porzingis because he just cannot get
Porzingis is expiring. He's going to get more value on that.
Well, but that's what maybe that's going to be their move then.
If it's Porzingis, I'll take Porzingis in a heartbeat. over Jrue.
I mean, how many playoff games is he going to play in this and last year combined? He just
don't
missed
care.
game one. I care. Rohan, we've been down this road. Then you end up trading Porzingis for Kyle Kuzma again. We just need a guy who's going to play. You need a good player who will play. Jrue. You need 2 out of 2.
I mean, we could say the same thing about Jrue. He just missed 3 playoff games in a row.
Yeah, but he played pretty much all of them last year, and those are fake playoffs games.
I know, but
those are fake. He missed fake playoff games.
I know, but he also missed a bunch of the regular season too.
I know. Well, yeah, that's why I think like the Celtics are like, okay, we cut the costs. I don't know if they would ever take Kuzma. Actually,
here's the thing.
Big matchup ball. They do like that.
We did just watch game 1 of Knicks Celtics. I almost said Knicks Pacers. That's the conference finals. But God, but we saw that, and it's just every single possession on a bad defender. You're just hezzy tween Jimboing every single possession.
Kuzma does fit.
No, I would say the opposite in that regard, because he's actually going to go to the rim. That's one thing that the Celtics really were lacking, is just rim pressure in that game, because they were just taking 65 threes.
Yeah.
Like, he's a guy who's not going to just be a stand-in-the-corner shooter. He is going to operate towards the rim.
I do think they would.
And he's a lot cheaper.
They would probably like the idea, too, of, like, we're just going to have 3 big switchable wings. You know what I mean? Like, we're just going to be huge, but also super mobile. He does kind of fit what they want to do defensively, too. Are you doing this as the Bucks?
I think I am.
Kuzma and the first. I think they're making you give up the first.
It's gonna look really bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But then here's the thing. Then you have what we always wanted later, and that's Jrue and Dame.
Yeah, you do backdoor that, but
you just gave up an extra first to keep Jrue.
Theoretical Dame, and everyone's 3 years older. Yeah. It sounds wonderful. I don't think I would actually like it for like the reasons we talk. Also for like this next year, now we're doing a whole season of the Celtics series where it's like Jrue scoring 19 on 20 shots and Giannis is doing everything.
I'll tell you what, he's a good regular season performer. He's been efficient as a regular season player.
But he usually didn't have to do it without Khris for like the whole season.
Yeah, but that's where we get point Giannis.
Well, I know, but Giannis was on those teams too, even if he wasn't point Giannis. You know, Gary Trent, be God, please. We need that 30-point Gary Trent every night, please.
You need to average that, buddy.
Yeah.
He has to keep the goggles now, by the way, right? Maybe
yeah, just get like swimming goggles. Like there's no eye benefit, but they're just goggles he wears. Little shark fins on them.
I mean, that's what he was doing. It was just eye protection.
Oh yeah, true. Duh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This one's iffy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I love this.
I just think like people who want to bring Bud back too. Like, part of me is just like, you know what? I think that the chapter is done, and let's find the new chapter. You're not getting back
together with your ex, man.
Yeah, that's what it kind of feels like, right? Of like, oh, I'm just gonna call her.
You guys aren't reconciling your differences.
Jon Horst at the bottom of a bottle of Brown, just going, I'm gonna call her. And you wake up the next day and you're like, oh my God, she's 35. Nothing wrong with being 35, but. In this specific instance.
Yeah,
is he going to be 35? How old is Jrue? He was older than Dame, right?
Yeah, he's like a month older than Dame. He's like 34, I think. Something like that. Here's the thing. With this 34. Trade, on its face, it looks bad because you're giving up a first to get older and more expensive. Yeah. And that kind of
turns 35 in June.
It doesn't seem.
So he's going to be 35 at the time of the trade.
Doesn't seem right to do that. You know?
No, does not.
I'm saying this is probably a trade that does help the Bucks in the short term.
Oh yeah, I think in the short term, yeah. If you're not worried about the future
here's the thing about Jrue. Here's the thing about Jrue. We should know this better than most people.
Yeah,
this game's not going to age that poorly.
If he stays on the court, it won't.
Yeah, that's the thing. Unless
I'm a little worried about his speed too.
It's not even just a speed thing. Can he maintain that lateral quickness?
Well, yeah,
I think he can.
Probably. At least for another year or two.
And
if healthy.
he's still so strong.
Oh, yeah. He's a bull.
And that's a lot of his defense. Is, just being, like, big and strong.
Yeah.
But, like, not built like a bowling ball like Eric Bledsoe. Like, it's actually spread out.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's not just all in his midst.
Muscle hamster.
Got muscles for no reason, Eric
Bledsoe.
I think this is a trade that helps the Bucks, but I don't love it.
Okay.
Maybe I wouldn't give up the first.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and then I think Boston's like, yeah, we're good. I don't know. I don't.
I'd give up the first if they include Brad Stevens. In the trade.
There you go. Brad trades himself as a coach. Yeah,
you can do that. Is that legal? I have to imagine not.
I think. Well, I mean, they traded for Jason Kidd.
But Kidd, the reason they did that because he wasn't the executive.
Yeah. I feel like, did like Morey do something like that? No, I don't think so. Okay, I've got a good
Bobby
one
Marks, we have a question for you.
Yeah, Bob. We can talk to Bobby about that when we have our mukbang. I've got one for you.
Okay.
Ring, ring. Hello, Nico Harrison.
Nico Harrison. Am I allowed to answer the phone? Do I still have
this is your security screens it, and it's not a threat. It's Jon Horst.
John.
It's been tough.
What I'm doing here, if I'm being completely honest.
I know. I've got the answer for you.
Don't tell anyone.
No, I won't. Don't worry. I don't either. 5 seconds for Jay Crowder. I've got the answer for you. So I know we're in a similar situation. Point guards are going to be out for a bit. It sucks. You want to win championships with defense, but you're going to need some scoring pop. What if I could give you both? I send you Kyle Kuzma. He scored 20 per game in the league. He's a big 6'9" switchable guy. Also, he's American. I know you love that. He is American. In return, I'll take Caleb Martin off your hands. Disastrous trade, clearly. Doesn't play games.
Also American.
Also American, but doesn't play in the game, so that's worse. But I also need PJ Washington, who I don't think you need this for anymore. You've got 2 centers. You've got Anthony Davis. Kuzma, I think, is more of a 3-4. Gives you a little more flexibility offensively. I'll take PJ off your hands, and I'll take this Caleb Martin contract off your hands.
I don't know, man.
Well,
I don't know. What else are you giving me? PJ Washington's been really good for us.
Yeah,
PJ Washington's been a perfect fit in Dallas.
Well, when you had Luka, he was.
Well, we need to see what it looks like with Kyrie and AD.
Well, good luck with that. I mean,
and
okay.
Gafford.
Okay. Well, what do you need? What can I throw in a player? What kind of player are you looking for?
I need Giannis.
Nope, not American. Wouldn't work.
It's true.
For anyone who doesn't know, Nico Harrison is like pretty much traded all the non-American guys for American guys. Just like a weird coincidence going on there. Anyway, back into the conversation.
Good context.
Back into we haven't suddenly become America first guys. This is a Nico Harrison bit.
What about Dame? How about we swap point guards? I just need to do something, man. I got an itchy trigger finger. I gotta do something.
Oh yeah, Kyrie's got a player option. He probably opts in. God, I don't know.
Can you imagine if he opts out?
I'd be shocked. So was he Achilles too, or was he ACL?
ACL. So that's shorter.
I mean, if you're the Bucks, that's probably a win for you.
I think it is.
I almost just don't even factor the point guards at this point, and then you get. I mean, if you can get PJ, I just want PJ Washington.
I don't know if Kyle Kuzma maybe Kyle Kuzma does get you PJ Washington. But here's the thing.
I looked at it as PJ Washington is more valuable than Kyle Kuzma, but I think Caleb Martin might just be a net negative at this point. They traded for him, and he just never really was able to play. This injury is clearly very serious. For anyone not in the loop, kind of just took away most of his season.
Yeah.
And they, for some reason, and they knew it was bad, and instead of canceling that trade, they gave up they gave up Quentin Grimes and tacked on an extra second onto it or something.
Yeah, they were just dumping Quentin Grimes. I'm sorry, I was just dumping
Quentin
Grimes.
Just dumped Quentin Grimes. You did do that.
And that's the thing. I did that on purpose. I was ready to eat that contract. for some reason, because I wanted less flexibility for a worse player.
Oh, it is American. Kind of surprised you did that. Born in Texas. That's kind of a fumble for you.
We got to get rid of all the guys that have loyalty to the state of Texas. That's my job.
Well, that's why PJ's got to go.
That is true.
I love the idea of stealing PJ Washington. I don't know how realistic it is.
How does PJ Washington fit with Giannis?
He's the stretch four. He is what we wanted Kuzma to be. Oh, I'm going to cut to the rim and dunk. I'm going to defend really hard. I'm going to go get a big rebound.
Yeah. Yeah, he kind of is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Plus, he's expiring, too.
38% from three this year, probably unsustainable, but really shot the ball well. That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, again, like if I'm trading Kuzma for him, I'm not as concerned. I would throw an Ajax here. I don't know if I'm throwing in the first here. I like PJ. I don't love PJ.
Sorry, I'll take. I need your first. Am I Nico Harrison or am I me?
Whichever you want. I'm not giving you the first, Nico. I'd probably. You only have 2 seconds. I'm not sure I'd throw in both seconds. I would not throw in AJ Green. I don't think.
No, not a chance.
Yeah.
AJ Green has become such a valuable Buck. It's crazy.
I mean, if you know you're going to be able to keep Gary, then I consider it in some deals, but I don't think I'm doing it here.
Yeah, I don't think I'm doing it there. It would need to be a player of more consequence.
Yeah, and PJ's 26, still young, big upside.
Still young.
I think he is actually a guy who would fit with Giannis better than the Kuzma and more like when they first got Portis. It was like, oh, Portis is going to be able to run around and like take advantage, and he kind of does. Not really. He's not really that much of a bursty athlete. Caleb Martin played 14 games with the Dallas, 5 points per game, 39% from the field, 25% from three. Just seems really hampered, and that contract is bad. So I'm kind of like, and I like the upside there too of like if I get him as a distressed asset, like we've seen this guy have huge games, like maybe you can get him to show up and help you as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would do Kuz and Ajax for those two guys for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I wish the Bucks could get better players.
Yeah. That would be great.
That'd be awesome, right?
I would prefer it. I think PJ is good. PJ would accept. PJ and Gary and AJ, a lot of J's.
No, that's good. That's a good young core.
Yeah.
That's a good young core that's athletic around. Yeah, you do get younger and more athletic.
Yeah.
You get spacier.
This is the point Giannis vision, I think, right? Of like, oh, it's PJ's going to cut. And I think you could probably play PJ and Bob and Giannis together too if you wanted.
You could. There's enough space in there.
Yeah. So
do you want to is the question.
Not a ton, but here and there. I don't want. What I don't want is like the Bucks ended up. I mean, Doc's fault, but ended up having 3 centers in their top 8. And although Doc did play them all together, like that's not good. You don't want 3 guys, that you don't really want to play together. So I want the option. I want my top 8 to be more malleable than the Bucks was, where it's like, oh my God, we have Lopez and Portis and Giannis and Sims all in this group, and I don't want to play more than 2 of them together ever. I think that's a problem.
No, I agree. Okay. Should we ring here?
Yeah. What do you got?
Sean Marks, will you answer the phone?
Oh, nice. Hello.
Hello, Sean.
How am I still employed?
I don't know, man, but you're still here. Joe Tsai really believes in you, man. I could be asking myself the same question. I just got an extension.
Hey,
maybe you will too.
Look at us. Who would have thought?
But you know what you need, Sean Marks? You've got D'Lo, right?
Free agent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not sure we're gonna bring him back, to be honest with you, mate.
Okay. That's so strange. It's like, what are you doing?
I know, I broke my promise.
It's actually that's even better.
Okay, great. Good to hear.
This is a team. I don't want to make any assumptions for you because I don't like to do that for you. There's only 30 of us in the world, and I respect you.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be bad.
Well, we'll see. How about our first for Giannis? Are you interested in that?
I wouldn't say.
We can throw in Cam Thomas. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, what are you thinking then?
This team's going to be bad.
Okay. Well,
you know what you need? You need butts and seats.
Yep.
You know who's going to do that to you?
Jay-Z.
Before you. Do that to you. He's going to force you guys to stop. You're just going to do that for you. The Kyle Kuzma experience.
Oh, so you're going to give me, okay.
You want to be the Wizards from 2 years ago?
Who doesn't?
I mean, that's how they got Alex Sarr. That's how they might get Cooper Flag.
Yeah, well, we might too.
That's true. But let's assume you don't.
Yeah,
that's kind of like you have.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair.
You need the Kyle Kuzma experience. You need him and Nick Claxton pick and rolls. Just spam that. You got some high flyers there. Yeah. Cam Thomas is going to put up 40 a game, except he's not, because we've said he's going to do that for 2 years now, and he's never done it.
Yeah, we're still waiting for him to do that, actually.
Is he a free agent? I think Cam Thomas is a free agent.
He might be. Yeah, we might really need butts and seats here.
Yeah, we might not even have Cam Thomas.
He's going to go score 19
Cam Thomas, Sean Mark's mate.
He's going to go score 19 that feels like 40 somewhere else.
Yeah. Toronto.
God.
It's not a bad option for him.
Yes, it is. They have too many guys already.
Not anyone who can shoot the ball.
Yeah, well, kind of RJ. Kind of RJ. Kind of BI. Kind of quickly. A lot of kindas.
Yeah. You need someone who's going to pull up off the dribble, and that is Cam Thomas. That's all he's going to do.
That is what he does.
I honestly don't hate that as a fit for him. Just off the dome during this trade call. I'm going to go talk to his agent.
Like the most notable name 35 win team of all time.
I know. Hey, Sean, at least we're not Toronto, huh?
Yeah. It could be worse. Could be worse, John.
Could be worse.
Mate.
We have Cam Johnson.
Yeah. So I have the same Kyle Kuzma and 20.
That's the trade. It's Kyle Kuzma.
Kyle Kuzma. Well, I had a 2031 top 5 protected first. There's no way
you're giving the first.
There's no way they're just giving you Cam Johnson.
I was given a second and probably Ajax.
Yeah. Well, everyone is like, oh, they're not going to help because they want Giannis. I mean, if Giannis makes it clear he's staying, I don't think the Nets would not do business with you. It does feel like they want to do something really big, so I'm not sure they're really interested in this. Like, I don't know if they're going to do a true rebuild, but I have a similar trade in here.
I mean, they kind of are doing a full rebuild. Your best player is Nick Claxton.
Yeah, but then now they're in like, oh, we're going to try and trade this pick for Giannis, right? Like they're trying to cheat it. They're trying to, we have our high lottery pick. Who can we trade it for? We have cap space. No. They're trying to do this stupid thing.
This worked the first time. Let's do it again.
Right, exactly.
It's amazing that didn't work.
Yeah,
that was a really good team.
Dude, COVID. If it wasn't for COVID, it probably works.
That was an insane.
Although they got randomly hurt in the playoffs anyway, but
yeah, that team fit together so well and played together so well.
I don't even think it fit that great. It didn't fit that great. It's just they were so
good.
When
those three played, yeah, that's the thing. When all three of them played, they were unstoppable.
I think it was just pure talent, though. I don't think the fit was ideal. They were just so talented.
I don't think it wasn't a bad fit.
It wasn't terrible.
It wasn't a bad fit at all.
No.
You had KD as your third option operating in the half court.
I know.
But then you had playoff Jimbo. By the way, just an insanely good hate watch. I had said it on the last pods, like two pods ago, or last pod. I was like, did I say this on the pod? I don't know if I did.
What
but I was like, I really respect James Harden now. He's really gotten to me.
Yeah.
And then he just completely undid everything.
I see. When you said playoff Jimbo, I was thinking of Jimmy Butler, and I was like, what does this have to do with the Nets? Yeah, I know. I said something.
My favorite thing is Dragonfly Jones always tweeting the Jim Harden.
Yeah. Oh, Jimbo.
But Cameron Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting idea. Maybe the first is just way too rich. I don't know. I think the Cam Johnson value is probably a little overinflated right now, league wide. But I think he would be a great fit on the Bucks.
I think it's overinflated because he's a good wing player who can shoot and also
super
defend.
Available. And super available. I don't think he's a great defender.
He can defend. That's why I didn't say he's a good defender.
Yeah.
He's not like ridiculously young, but he's like as old as Kyle Kuzma. He's 29.
Yeah. I mean, he would
still relatively young.
He would obviously eat next to Giannis. Like, it would be an amazing fit for him.
It's almost the perfect fit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like a big, versatile guy who can size up, size down on offense and defense. He's kind of...
Go ahead.
And will shoot the heck out of the ball. Like, what else do you need?
Yeah, you probably still need rebounding help. Like, I'm probably, again, like I'm playing him and Portis, I think. Like, although I know he's a nominal 4, he's like a 4 rebound per game guy.
No, you're playing him at the 3.
Yeah, you're playing him at the 3 to start. He's like, again, he's like the idealized, like, what if Kuzma actually did exactly what you wanted? That's pretty much Cam Johnson, a worse rebounder. I think probably a worse defender than Kuzma, but much better offensive player. 2-to-1 assist.
I think he's a worse theoretical defender than Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma, we've seen.
It was up and down. He struggled against Indiana, but he had some really good regular season.
He really, like, the regular season, we were praising him for being a better defender than an offensive player.
Yeah. He just didn't do either in the playoffs.
God, that was bad, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah, I mean, I think you could probably get a little irresponsible here if Giannis commits, because this guy is going to look like, does he make the All-Star team next year next to Giannis? He was about 19-4-3 on 39% from 3 on that terrible Nets team last year. Does always miss a few games. That is kind of a concern.
If he wasn't an All-Star on the Nets, he's not going to be an All-Star in the Bucks. That's the thing.
Yeah, fair.
Because his usage is going to go way down.
I mean, it depends who's the coach. Doc will forget about him for quarters at a time. If they have a good coach, you're just like drilling a lot of like, okay, we're going to run a Giannis action with Cam Johnson 1 pass away. He might score more than we would think.
Here's the thing, though. What if you have? What if multiple of these trades happen? What if you have Lonzo feeding a guy like Cam Johnson?
I mean, if they had Lonzo and Cam Johnson, I would shed a tear.
That's like a perfect offseason.
Lonzo, Trent, Johnson, Giannis, Portis with AJ coming off the bench.
And
Sims and Rollins.
And AJ Green.
Yeah, AJ's the first one. Yeah.
I forgot.
That'd be wonderful. Yeah. That'd be wonderful.
We don't have AJ Johnson anymore.
No, we don't have him anymore. Okay.
That's a perfect offseason.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, then the trades we've made, they have just enough assets to make that happen too.
Yeah, none of these, the Lonzo trade and these trades are not overlapping. Here's the thing. Are we underestimating some of these? Probably.
Yeah.
But
it's hard to gauge. Mostly player-for-player trades are really hard to gauge. I mean, every time people are surprised by what, like, it depends how each team values each player.
Yeah. Could you imagine trading Kyle Kuzma, AJ Johnson, and a pick swap for Khris Middleton?
I didn't do a Khris Middleton trade, but it's sitting right there. It's just as embarrassing as the Jrue trade, but
I think it's more embarrassing.
What was the idea I pitched last time? Oh, you send Tyler Smith too. Here's Tyler Smith and Kuzma for and Pat. Tyler Smith, Kuzma, and Pat for Khris Middleton. Yep,
you get AJ Johnson, Tyler Smith,
I would do it.
Pat Connaughton.
I would do it.
Yeah, do it. For holding on to Khris for like 6 months.
For letting Khris rehab more than usual.
Yeah. It's not bad.
No.
You should have sent him. Should have traded him to a Bundesliga team instead. It's Germany.
Yep. Deer antlers.
Just not to you. I'm just giving context.
No, I know. Yeah.
But I think Cam Johnson, I think that's a really good trade. This might be my favorite trade. I think he's the most attainable, good fit next to Giannis. Great fit next to Giannis.
Yeah. I could see that. I have a Mikal Bridges trade. I'm just not even going to do it.
I don't think you can anymore.
I think if they lose in 5, maybe. He's expiring, and they are super expensive. So, like, if you lose in 5, I think OG has probably jumped him in terms of value to the team. He had amazing. 100%. He had an amazing game 1 though, but OG was great too. Like Kuzma, AJ Green, and probably your first. But then I'm like, would I even do the Bucks even really want to do that? Really? Do you really want to do that after the year Mikal Bridges has had?
Probably not.
It's hard to say no. I think he is ideally, like theoretically, a really good running mate for Giannis. You do kind of need that, like 3 with size who can do both the ways. Like, I don't know.
An insane defender.
Yeah.
Not as good as he used to be, but still very good.
Yeah. But that's probably not enough, right? Kuzma, AJ Green, and a first. Would they give up 4 firsts for him or something insane? I mean, that's the problem, right?
5.
they're probably going to hold on to like, well, we gave up 5 firsts, so
5 firsts and 4 swaps, I think.
God, what an insane trade. So I won't even do the call for
Those
that.
are 3 swaps. Yeah, I think the Knicks don't do that just based on optics.
Yeah.
You can't, like, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Like the Bucks are in the same spot. We're just talking about Jrue Holiday and Khris Middleton trades.
Yeah. Okay, you're Danny Ainge. Hey, Danny.
It's 4 picks and 2 swaps.
Yeah, so you just can't take Kuzma.
An unprotected swap in 28, and they get the Bucks trade and pick in 25. How'd they get there?
Because the Knicks had a poo-poo platter, so a lot of the picks sucked. That's what people don't.
But how did that pick? Wasn't that a New Orleans pick?
Yeah, but New Orleans traded with. Was it right with the Knicks? I mean, the New Orleans moved a lot of those picks since. They're all over the place. You're Danny Ainge now. I'm giving up on them. I don't think it's a real trade. Yeah, you're Danny Ainge. All right, Danny.
I need Pat. I need AJ Green.
We could talk about. No, you can't have AJ. I'm not sure.
Pat.
I'm not. Well, no. All right, here's the trade. I know you need to win every trade.
Like it already.
I know you need to win every trade.
I am the Utah Jazz GM.
Yes, I know. Trust me. You got Flip in the draft. I think you hit your quota for quite a few years. Here, you got Laurie locked in. You just listen. Hear out the trade.
Ooh, there's one name you're not saying.
What?
Is this a Kessler trade?
No.
Oh,
I'm not even into that idea. And I know you want 55 first for him. Here's the thing. Isaiah Collier, fun, young guard. I'm forgetting the name of the other guy who plays and shoots a lot. Oh, Keontae George, fun, young guard. You're probably going to draft more. You took J-Dub's little brother. You got a lot of these young players. You don't need Colin Sexton anymore. The whole league knows you don't need Colin Sexton anymore.
Sexton knows we don't need
Colin Sexton knows. Not a demo fit for you. And it's time for you to get out of the Colin Sexton game. We all know this. We all saw what Collier did. You have another young point guard too, don't you? You have 2 this last draft? I think I'm forgetting one even. You have a lot of young players, Danny. And you probably want to get good eventually, or at least let those guys develop. I'm going to give you Kyle Kuzma. I'm going to give you Andre Jackson Jr. so you can get a prospect back. If you don't want him, that's fine. You don't need to take him for the trade math to work, but I'm willing to include him. And I'm going to give you the Milwaukee Bucks 2031 second-round pick. So you can get your draft pick, your precious pick, and you get future capital. You get a pair of contracts you can move, and you open up that long jam. And I think, Kuzma marking in front, like wing rotation, is kind of fun. You're really long and athletic there. I think there's some upside here. What do you think, Danny?
Didn't I trade him to you last offseason? Or the offseason before? I swear, I told someone, I was like, make sure you leak that they need to watch this space because we're trading Colin Sexton.
Yeah, we were close. We were close.
John,
we were close last year.
Already?
We were right there. But I ran out of data and we couldn't finish it. But
that really what they're paying you? You can't even get unlimited data.
No, well, now with this new one, I got it now. We're FaceTiming now. Now with the extension.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Is this an overpay? Is this an overpay?
I think it's an overpay.
Oh, I don't know. But
it depends on what they think of Kyle Kuzma. If it's a positive or a negative asset.
They probably don't care. Right?
Well, I think they do care because it's more money. Because Colin Sexton, it's an extra year. Colin Sexton is expiring. We have to pay Kyle Kuzma an extra year of basketball. We have to for an extra year of basketball and pay him like $3 million more.
Yeah, maybe Ajax doesn't make sense here.
Like we're the Utah Jazz, man. We need demographic fits, and we don't want to pay a lot. And we need to remember that somehow Dwayne Wade still owns this team.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because he's like doing broadcasting now. I'm not sure.
He was just added to NBC.
Yeah, so I don't know if he can do whatever. Who cares?
I mean, Shaq owns part of the Kings.
Yeah, true.
So they find ways around it.
I could send you
Ryan, whatever his name is. What's the Ryan something?
Smith.
It's Ryan Smith, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's Ryan Smith.
Yeah, the salaries are tricky with this one.
Is it?
Yeah, because he's 19 million is kind of a weird number for the Bucks. Like it kind of has to be Kuzma.
It does have to be Kuzma. That's the thing. That's why I'm saying it depends on how Danny Ainge, think of Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, probably not that well. Although you could kind of use do you need a 3 there next to Markkanen, or just another big wing? Assuming you're getting rid of John Collins, I don't know. I wouldn't do the first here. Clearly, I don't think.
No,
Sexton. I think Sexton in the right situation could look really good. I do think he'd be a good Buck. I think he'd be a much better Buck now that there's this clear void of, shot creation and guard play.
It'll be a great backup once Dame comes back.
I mean, yeah, I think they just start both. I think there's some defensive upside with Sexton. He's just not that big, but he's a hard worker.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like he'll try.
Yeah. 40% from 3 last year.
Did you say 30?
40.
40.
He shot 51% from 2, 40% from 3, 4.2 assists to 25 turnovers, 4 threes and 9.5 twos per game.
That's not bad.
He's like a real scorer. The problem is, there's no good deal when dealing with Ainge, so I don't even know if this is enough for him.
Yeah, sorry. I'm kind of senile.
Yeah. I would probably do both seconds for this.
I don't know if Sexton's value is that high.
But it's Ainge. You always almost have to overpay. But if it's overpaying by 1 second, do I really care? Do we know Jon Horst does not care?
I think you should care.
I'll just buy one in this draft.
Yeah,
I'll send out 47 and I'll go buy whatever. Actually, I don't know if they'd even want 47 because they have so many young guys and picks already.
They do have a lot of young guys.
Maybe it's like 31 and 32, both seconds. To turn Kuzma into Sexton, you lose your chips, but that's a pretty good upgrade. I don't know.
Yeah.
If they would actually do it straight up, I would do it. But he's older, more expensive, another year. I don't see that as likely.
No. Unless they just really want Kyle Kuzma for some reason.
That would be a great development.
It'd be awesome, honestly.
Kuzma for John Collins, that saves them money, but only this year, which they probably don't care because they're not even close to a tax team.
No.
So it's like whatever. Doesn't matter to us.
I'm Ryan Smith. I'm a billionaire.
Yeah, and it seems like he really wants to go do good stuff there. Would you do
you know what's one of the coolest things? I'm going to compliment the Utah Jazz for a second.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things that's been done is the previous owners put the team in a trust.
Yeah.
It's never going to leave.
Yeah.
Because it's a trust owned. That's awesome.
Yeah. Bucks owners are like that. We're not doing it. So relax, Rohan. We're not doing it. Would you do Pat and a second for Jordan Clarkson? No. I kind of feel like the ship has sailed. You're adding like $5 million in salary.
If you're keeping Trent,
you're adding $5 million in salary that then really limits what you can do under the first apron if you want to use the full MLE.
Who's better, Jordan Clarkson or Gary Trent?
Who's better, Jordan Clarkson or Game 82 Pat Connaughton?
That's true. That dude put a 4.
I think if you're Horst and you're all these Pat C deals, you're like, did you see what he averaged as a starter?
He averaged 40 as a starter.
Did you see what he averaged in April? Did you see that? What if I told you? Here's what you do. You call Brooklyn and you go, hey, listen, I know what you guys are looking for, and I am willing to give you a player who in starts this year is averaging 43, 11, 5, and 2 steals. And they're like, did Giannis come off the bench? And you're just like, this player, and his contract, we talked to him and we got it down. It's $9 million. And we're gonna offer you this player. And all we need is we're gonna throw in someone else. All we need is Cam Johnson. And they're just like, yes. And it's Pat Connaughton. That's what you have to do. A guy who averaged 43, 11, 5, and 2 steals in starts on 55, 41, 67 splits. That's Pat Connaughton.
That's insane. What you just said, it's true, but it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
How do you put up 4? What do you put up, 45?
43, 11, 5 assists, 2 steals. Only 2 turnovers.
Crazy.
29 shots.
Crazy.
Maybe he just plays next year. We'll see. Okay. Do you want to go through one more?
Yeah. I don't like this at all. But
Okay. we got down to there pretty fast.
It's Dame for KD.
But why?
I
Why
said
would
I
Phoenix? But
didn't.
no, why would Phoenix ever do that?
I don't know. That's the
Whatever they got. I'm Matt Ishbia's college assistant coach for some reason. Now the GM of the Phoenix Suns because of that fact.
Is James Jones? Did he get promoted into nothing?
Yeah. The NBA teams operate like Japanese businesses do this, I think, where they're just like, you don't have a job, but you still come in here and you just sit there.
That's awesome.
They don't like it, but I would.
I don't hate that.
I would. Not
I don't hate that.
But I'm saying no. James Jones from his desk with no computer is also saying no.
James Jones, like, I get a say in this?
Yeah, right. James Jones is like, oh,
you're asking for my opinion?
It's a no from me too. Thanks for asking.
No one asked you, James Jones.
No one asked. I'm telling you, it was Beal.
I imagine
he's
just poking his head into the room, and he's like, "I don't think this is good. Get out of here,
James. Go away. Just
How'd you get in here?
Just make him a coach. Like, come on. He's a former player. He could do that.
Good. No, I don't like it at all.
I'm telling you, it's maybe Beal or nothing.
No.
In Bobby's informative YouTube video, they can't fully stretch and waive Beal. Because you can only have a certain amount of your cap.
Bobby Portis? I thought you meant Bobby Portis.
Oh, yeah, Bobby Portis.
Just like, what?
Hey, Underdog Nation, I'm here to talk about the Phoenix Suns cap situation. Bobby Portis checking in on what the Suns can do with Bradley Beal's contract.
Did I miss something?
Dude, that would forget Bobby Marks mukbang. That would be the best YouTube content. Just like players have these interests in media, but Bob is like, I don't want to do an interview show. I don't want to talk about the games. I want to be a capologist.
Honestly, that's not a bad like. We don't see former players do that.
We certainly don't see current players. Imagine Bobby Portis' next contract is like a 5-year. Slowly going up, like it takes advantage of every little cap rule out there. Like, yeah, I'm a capologist now.
But Bobby Marks said you can't fully stretch Beal.
Yeah, you can only have a certain amount of your cap as dead, I guess, and because they have some other dead cap, I think, so they couldn't. So I'll have to look at that and see if I don't know if the Bucks could with Dame. I wouldn't anyway, to be clear, but that is a rule.
That's bad business if you're stretching a $50 million contract.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It is horrible business.
Can I hit you with a really fast 2-for-1?
Please.
So the package is Pat and Ajax. Again, a player who in starts averaged 43, 11, 5, and 2 steals. And Andre Jackson Jr., who dunk contest participant and 40-plus game starter.
Started like 40-something games.
43, I think, game starter. For Terrence Mann.
I did look at that one.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Like, I don't think you have to. I don't know, but like, the Hawks are probably like, yeah, we already have we have actual good.
I do. When I was building this Hawks trade, I was like, what are they doing?
I don't know.
I don't know what the direction.
I don't know.
I have no sense. And like, who's their new GM? Because they fired. Do they have a new GM?
Ansi Salah.
Okay. Oh yeah, he was already in the org, right?
Yeah. They
fired Landry Fields.
Yeah.
I wonder if Kyle Korver got promoted.
Maybe.
Or is he still assistant GM?
They just like cycle in random guys there.
But like I genuinely have no idea what they're going to do.
I think Ajax.
They could trade Trey, or they could trade for Jimmy Butler.
I think Ajax is a pretty bad fit there with Dyson Daniels and Jalen Johnson. Pat Connaughton and Tyler Smith for Terrence Mann.
Not so much Jalen Johnson. More of a Dyson thing.
Yeah, I don't think Jalen's a great shooter.
Nicolay's own, right? He went to Nicolay?
Yeah, for like a month, yeah.
No, it was like a year.
It wasn't long. Whatever it was. I'm interested in Terrence Mann as a concept. I would have tried to trade for him at the deadline, as we talked about at the deadline. I don't know if the Hawks have any interest in this package. Probably not. Would you do Pat?
He was at Nicolay. He went to IMG and then came back to Nicolay.
Oh, that's what it was. Would you do Pat Connaughton and Tyler Smith for Terrence Mann?
Yes.
Wow. You're just going to give up on Tyler.
Yeah, I said that so confidently, and then I'm like, oh.
I don't know. I'm not sold on this just because he's like a little too short. I think Terrence Mann is 6'4".
Here's the thing. What do you imagine him coming off the bench? Do you imagine?
I would imagine him starting on next year's team, but then this is where we're starting 3 6'4" guys. Like, we're just very small. If he was like 6'6" or 6'7", maybe. Like, I'm thinking team needs, like, you could use scoring guard, obviously, but like also a true 3. It just feels like they don't really, like, is it Kuzma? Hasn't really been. Like, is it one of Green or Trent? Maybe. Like, is this an upgrade on Green and Trent? I think the answer is maybe. Probably not on Trent. Maybe on AJ.
Maybe not.
Yeah, so that's why I'm kind of like, maybe I just don't do this. My other one is Pat.
If you don't keep Trent, I think absolutely.
Yeah, then you would need something like this. But you just have to keep Trent, I think.
Yeah, you give him the full MLE. Like, that's been my operating assumption this whole time.
Yeah. Pat C and Ajax for Grant Williams.
No.
Probably I don't think I'd do that as the Bucks.
No.
Maybe could you just do Pat C for Grant Williams?
How long is he
going
to be out?
Yeah, that's the question. So he tore the ACL, I think it was, not the Achilles. Or some sort of ligaments.
Was it the Achilles?
No, it wasn't. Because they said it was going to be 9 to 12 months, and it was December. So maybe by start of next year, but you're not sure. So yeah, you probably can't give up Ajax for him.
Multiple tears in his right knee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yikes.
Those I don't like those two very much either. Yeah, there's not as many great trades as I thought. There's like a couple really good targets, but I don't know what they're gonna do. Do you have any others that you really like, real rapid fire? I know we're at time here.
I mean, I kicked around like a Dame Paul George trade.
Yeah, people have that. Again, I can't see teams really just being we're gonna take a dead cap hit for a year and maybe 2 years.
Well, here's the thing: if Embiid misses most of the year,
yeah, you're just getting off the contract. I mean, I think if you're the Bucks, you probably have to do that, to be honest.
I think you do. I would feel evil about it.
Yeah. I mean, Dame probably never actually goes to Philly, so.
Yeah, have him still rehab in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, he's going to go to Portland, I think, in that situation. But
yes,
yeah, I wouldn't feel evil about it.
He'll phone in the interview.
I mean, if they don't make a big move, and things go really bad next year, Dame may have to leave anyway. So I don't know that it's evil. I guess it's evil if he has to rehab in Philly because their medical staff might just kill him. But if he can go rehab in Portland, I think it's fine.
They never changed their medical staff, did they? I don't think they did. Could you I know we didn't. This was not the thing, and you could open up a world of possibilities if you included sign-in trades.
Yeah,
but does a Brogdon sign-in trade do anything for you?
He's a free agent.
Yeah,
you probably just sign him. He's the biannual exception. Yeah, I'd be interested in the Malcolm Brogdon.
Or a D'Lo sign-in trade.
Yeah, I don't know what the Nets would take back.
Could you include Cam Johnson in that deal?
Like Kuzma and Pat for D'Lo and Cam Johnson. That just feels like you're getting too much. You're probably sending a first in that deal. I thought the other way, could you sign and trade Brooke Lopez to the Lakers if they're actually interested? But I don't know. They're not
getting.
Yeah, if they're not, I think
Luka.
The only realistic options there, I think, are Rui Hachimura and Dorian Finney-Smith. And I just can't imagine the Lakers would give up one of those guys. But if they would, I would totally do that.
I think DFS might be available.
They didn't extend him. He was extension eligible. So
yep, he has a player option, which I think he's going to opt into for what is it, 15.3?
I don't know if he will. I guess he's probably not beating MLE.
You opt into the Lakers.
Fair.
Yeah, maybe sign and trades is a whole different pod.
Yeah, we'll have to come back. We have a lot of off season. Hopefully, we get some news at some point to react to. But otherwise, we're just going to we're trying to fix the Bucks. This is what we do every off season when they don't win the title. How can we fix the Bucks? How can we build around Point Giannis? And so far, we go get Cam Johnson and Lonzo Ball, and that's about all we got at this point. So we're going to keep working.
Those are my favorite ones.
I like the Sexton idea, but the values are a little off, I think, on making it work.
I think, yeah. That one's really intriguing. I think Kuzma and Sexton are of kind of similar value, which makes it difficult.
Yeah. I would call in.
Kuzma might be more valuable.
I would do Kuzma in a second for Sexton right away.
Do you get an asset?
No, not from Danny Ainge.
That's the thing. Yeah. And especially from a team that's trying to tank.
Right, exactly.
You would get older and more expensive.
I do think part of them though, like they want to turn the corner. Like they wanted to try and get a star next to Lauri Markkanen. Like they don't want to be bad forever, I don't think. So like I think you pitch them on. No, you can't. They want 10 firsts for him. They want 8 firsts for Kessler. That's why I didn't even entertain that. Like those got Ainge is crazy for those. But I don't think they care much about Sexton.
No, that's the thing. I think he's just on their roster.
They just have him. Same with Collins. You could go get John Collins, maybe. Kuzma for Collins. I don't
like that fit.
Yeah.
At all.
I think he's. Yeah. I don't know.
I know Jordan loves John Collins, but
Collins, Giannis is a little intriguing. The way he shot the ball.
I don't think it. I don't think that's sustainable at all.
It intrigues me more than Kuzma, Giannis.
I think Kuzma, Giannis intrigues me more. I'm not even kidding. I'm so out on John Collins, especially as a fit with Giannis. I'll say that, and I'm just out on John Collins. You know what? He's not listening. I'm out on you, John Collins. Here, I'm calling Danny Ainge. Answer the phone. I know I was Danny Ainge earlier.
39% this year, 37% last year. Only 3.5-ish attempts per game.
That's the thing. He's going to be asked to shoot like 6 a game.
But he's at like 58% from 2. Like he's actually going to get to the rim and finish 19 points
with Giannis there.
Yeah, he's pointing Giannis. He's cutting around him. Also, I wanted to send. It should be Kuzma and Livingston, so he can have 41 Utah games a year.
Oh yeah.
Send Livingston to Utah.
Honestly, that might be for the best. So
not for Chris. Well, if he plays that well, but yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully the Bucks don't cut him.
Yeah, we'll see.
They might have to.
Yeah, well, it's a cheap roster spot, but we'll if he's gonna get a shot or not. That's the big question.
Can you convert someone, because you can convert someone from a 2-way to a roster spot? Can you convert someone from a roster spot to a 2-way?
You probably have to waive him and then just re-sign him to it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Someone might claim him on waivers.
Yeah.
Not on a min.
No,
maybe on a min.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't think he has any value.
No, he's just they don't let him play at all. So
yeah,
I think he'd get a shot somewhere, but I don't. There wouldn't be, I think, a bidding war.
If there's any team, it is Utah, probably. Maybe not him. On that note,
yeah,
we'll say thank you for listening to this episode of the Gyro Step here on Blue Iron GSPN, presented by our wonderful, amazing friends over at Prize Picks. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening to or watching this podcast platform of choice or YouTube. Wow, I'm struggling through this. Make sure you check out gspn.info for all of our links. Were you about to say something?
Yeah, it feels like it's been a while since we potted for some reason. Maybe now that we're in like true off-season mode, I don't know. It felt. I feel like we're like easing back into off-season mode here, and we have time. We have several months, so yeah, we'll get better. We'll get better.
We didn't bring back Choose Your Fighter. We got to do that.
Yeah, we had a packed pod, but yeah, probably go. Well, Rohan, we're gonna have plenty of time. That's May. True. The Bucks won't play any games again until October. So
no, July. We're getting Summer League.
Summer League, sorry.
Also, right. Is Giannis doing Eurobasket?
I don't think we have any news on that. Did Greece make it in?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Is Greece in Eurobasket?
I'm looking.
Sorry for news mid-pod. Mid-outro.
I don't know if I'd call this news. They are in it. Late August, if Giannis does Eurobasket.
Because I think Luka just said he is.
Oh, did he?
Or at least there was some report about him doing Eurobasket.
Yep, Slovenia's in here. Yeah, so maybe we'll get to see Giannis playing in August. We're not going to see him in July.
Nah, unless he's like, I gotta pull a Jimmy Butler. I gotta suit up for the.
I gotta fire up the squad. Me and the 47th overall pick are gonna go crazy.
You take away everything. You take away his keys.
Yeah.
You take away everything. And you say publicly, yeah, we are taking away everything.
You send Giannis to basketball rehab. Like, you have a problem.
No, you send him to rehab in general. Because there's something wrong.
Something's going on, Giannis.
But yeah, make sure you subscribe. We'll have everything covered. We'll have Summer League. We'll have Eurobasket covered. Even if Giannis doesn't play, we'll still talk. Oh, Thanasis might play Eurobasket.
Yeah, I'll let you handle that. I'll let you handle Thanasis Eurobasket coverage.
I think the one thing we forgot to mention in news, I know this is the longest outro of all time.
Yeah.
And I'm the one who said I needed to go.
Yep.
Is that Giannis was like, during his post-game interviews after the Pacers game, was like, yeah, that's the good thing about Thanasis. He's going to be playing next year. That's great news. You can't even be mad at it.
I think it's Thanasis' goal to play next year.
Yeah, on the Bucks.
Yeah.
I think it's more guaranteed than ever. Thanasis gets a roster.
I hope it is.
Yeah. So we'll have you covered for all things that.
Yeah. We'll be all over the Thanasis contract.
I turned the corner. I turned the corner on everyone, though. He's back. He's back 100%.
I don't know. I think you stayed the course and everyone else joined you.
Yeah, I got everyone else to turn the corner.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. You did. You won that.
Yep. So stay tuned. Pod Random. We'll talk to you next time.